How does pareidolia explain seeing faces in objects? Imagine walking down the street and suddenly thinking you see a face in a cloud or a pattern on a wall. That's pareidolia at work, a fascinating way our brains interpret the world around us. It's not just a trick, it's a natural part of how we process visual information. When we look at objects, our minds are wired to find familiar shapes, especially faces, because faces are so important for social interaction and survival. Our brain has specialized areas called the fusiform face area and occipital face area. These parts are like face-detecting machines that work quickly and efficiently. When an object has features that roughly resemble eyes, a nose, or a mouth, these areas activate as if a real face is there. For example, two dark spots and a curved line can trigger the brain to see a face, even if it's just a pattern. This is why we sometimes see faces in rocks, tree bark, or even appliances. Neurophysiological studies show that the same brain regions involved in recognizing real faces also light up during face pareidolia. This overlap explains why the illusion can feel so vivid and convincing. The brain treats these face-like patterns as social signals, making us interpret gaze or emotion, even though we know logically that the object isn't alive. This sensitivity to faces is thought to be an evolutionary adaptation. Early humans needed to quickly identify friends or foes, so their brains became very good at spotting faces in any environment. But this skill can lead to false positives, where non-face objects are mistaken for faces. In folklore and urban legends, this tendency can be exploited. People might see faces in ancient artifacts, religious icons, or symbols, and interpret them as signs of spirits or secret messages. On a deeper level, face pareidolia involves complex brain networks beyond just visual areas. Regions associated with social thinking and emotion are also active during these perceptions. Some research suggests that brain waves, called gamma oscillations, help bind visual features into a coherent face perception. This means our brains are not just making a simple mistake but engaging higher-level processes to interpret social cues. Understanding pareidolia helps explain why people see faces in everyday objects and how these perceptions influence myths, legends, and conspiracy theories. It shows that our brains are wired to find meaning, sometimes where none exists. This natural tendency can be a source of wonder, but also a reminder to think critically about the visual stories we tell ourselves.